Spoiler warning. The following is an in-depth analysis. If you haven't seen this series or seen this arc, you may want to before watching this series of reviews. Hello everyone, this is Dragonfist900 or Mark. Welcome to my series of Yu-Gi-Oh reviews. Yu-Gi-Oh was my childhood. It was the anime that really got me into the aspect of animation from Japan, and then it inspired me to collect countless cards, TV sets, and even the Duelist at one point. This series is going to tackle the three, quote, seasons of Yu-Gi-Oh that I saw as a kid, as well as the ones that are generally the most well-received. The original Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel monsters, Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, and finally, Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds. Also, note that because the story arcs in the series are so long, I will only be covering one story arc at a time. So with all that said, let's pick it up with the one that started the franchise off, Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters. The series ran in America from April 18th, 2000 to September 29th, 2004. It ran for 224 episodes, and is, in my opinion, a masterpiece. Sure, it doesn't get that deep, particularly with the first story arc, but it was still a blast to run into on Saturday mornings. The overall series, particularly Duel Monsters, is highly underrated by many people. Some describe it now as just a toy marketing excuse from Japan. Now, you can't see it as that, as the series sold well in both Japan and the US, but the series also taught kids, myself included, some valuable lessons, including about friendship. The first arc is known as the Duelist Kingdom arc. It ran from April 18th, 2000 to February 13th, 2001, as well as the first 42 episodes of the overall English dub of the series. Also, if it also ran for the Japanese sub, please don't mow me down in the comment section. I just don't really know. Anyway, the season begins with Seto Kaiba, played in the English dub by Eric Stewart, kidnapping the grandfather Yugimoto, played by Dan Green. Kaiba defeats Yugi's grandfather in order to obtain his Blue Eyes White Dragon, one of the most powerful cards in the game. Yugi, upon seeing his grandfather so beaten up, challenges Kaiba to a duel for revenge. Now, for those at home who have never seen a duel or don't even understand what a duel is, please allow me to explain. Two players challenge each other to a battle using a set, usually a deck of about 40 playing cards. The point of the game is to get one of the player's life points to reach 0, upon which the match is decided. It's pretty straightforward, and it continues through the franchise at least until after 5Ds, and Zexal is really where it gets weird. But we'll get to those at a later review. Anyway, the spirit within the Millennium Puzzle, later dubbed as Yami Yugi, challenges Kaiba to the duel in young Yugi's place. Yami, upon being decimated by Kaiba's blue eyes, begins to doubt that he can win, but remembering how his friends are supporting him, Yami manages to unleash Exodia the Forbidden One, which is essentially an instant win combination of cards like a hole-in-one in golf or an ace in the hole. Later, Joey, voiced by Wayne Grayson, takes up learning Duel Monsters, but he isn't that good at first. Though, he does get better over time, which actually ties into a kid's attempts to improve in certain areas of life or in school. So, plus for that. Anyway, after watching a tournament with Joey, Yugi receives a mysterious tape and dueling glove, as well as a star chip, the currency for the Duelist Kingdom tournament. However, when Yugi puts the tape into his TV, he is forced to duel against the creator of Duel Monsters himself, Maximilian Pegasus, voiced by Darren Dunstan. Pegasus wins the duel due to an imposed time limit, though it should be noted that if time hadn't run out, Yugi would have won. Unfortunately, Pegasus takes the soul of Yugi's grandpa as his prize, and says that if Yugi wants him back, he will have to enter and win Pegasus' tournament, which sets up the events of the arc. Now, I couldn't possibly do an episode-by-episode analysis, as, well, most of them are filler. But there are some highlights that actually tie into each character's arc that they go through, particularly Yugi and Joey, but I'll get to those highlights when I actually talk about the characters for the arc. Anyway, the next few episodes are mostly duels, first against Weevil Underwood, who cheats by leading Yugi and his friends to a forest area, which gives him a huge advantage. This episode, titled in the English dub as Into the Hornet's Nest, really teaches kids the lesson of not cheating, which is a lesson that is repeated over the course of the franchise. However, there is one episode in this arc that really stands out to me every time I watch it. The Evil Spirit of the Ring. Bakura's Millennium item, the Millennium Ring, manifests itself and the spirit within it traps Yugi and his friends within their favorite Duel Monsters cards. The spirit and Yami then battle, with Yami ultimately emerging as the victor. The evil spirit does come back later, but this is the first time where Yugi really notices that he and Yami are separate people. Yugi says that whenever he duels, he feels a presence inside of him, guiding him through his moves. A little insight into Yami's character is given in this episode, and we'll learn more about it as the franchise continues. Anyway, Yugi and his friends eventually get to the castle, and Kaiba challenges Yugi to a rematch. Yami almost defeats Kaiba, but when Kaiba threatens suicide to win, Yami goes too far, prompting Yugi to stop him. But in the process, he loses to Kaiba, and thus loses the only chance he has to reclaim his grandfather's soul. Kaiba goes on to face Pegasus, but it's clear that he is completely no match for Pegasus, although that's more because of his Millennium Eye than any actual skill Pegasus has. And Kaiba's soul is ultimately taken by him. The finals then begin, but there are only a few episodes that really stand out to me. For instance, the two-parter Best of Friends, Best of Duelists. This is one of my favorite episodes in the whole franchise, as Yugi and Joey are forced to duel against each other in the semi-finals, to decide who gets to face Pegasus in the end. What makes this episode so great for me is the fact that Yugi and Joey, or rather Yami and Joey in the duel, aren't facing each other as enemies but as friends, and they make remarks to each other throughout the match, like when Yami gives Joey some advice in the beginning, or when Joey compliments Yami's attack. The emotion given here is fantastic, and it really shows how far Joey has come since the beginning of the tournament. He's gotten better with each duel, but now he's not just fighting for his sister, he's fighting against Yugi, the undefeated champion. The emotion is fantastic, as I said before, and you should check it out for yourself to see what I'm talking about. Finally, we come to the finals. Yugi and Yami versus Pegasus, the five-parter Yugi vs. Pegasus match of the Millennium. This, like the other one, is one of the best duels in the franchise in my opinion. Yes, you could say that Pegasus is a pathetic villain, but his true motives are very telling as to why he lures Yugi to the island in the first place. See, Pegasus is dueling for love as well, as he hopes to harness all 7 Millennium items in the hopes of resurrecting his wife, who passed away supposedly during a flashback to their wedding. Yami and Yugi develop a mind shuffle strategy which stops Pegasus from reading their mind using his Millennium Eye. Also, I have to say that Pegasus' reaction when they did switch minds were pretty priceless. Pegasus, after revealing his true motives, transports Yugi into the Shadow Realm, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Equivalent of the Underworld, or Hades, or something. And Yugi is eventually worn out, forcing Yami to take his place. Yami, through the power of friendship, manages to defeat Pegasus' 1,000 Eyes Restrict with his Magician of Black Chaos. Now, let's get into the major characters for this arc. Yugi, Kaiba, and Joey. Yugi goes through a solid character arc here. At the start of the show, he seems to be just a competent duelist. However, as the series and arc goes on, we see that he genuinely cares for his friends and that he has a huge amount of respect for the game. However, his character arc really comes into play after he loses to Kaiba, as he had to stop Yami from going too far in the duel. Yami later apologizes, of course, but what Yugi says immediately after the duel shocked me, and it still does. He says, quote, "I'm afraid of the spirit inside me. So afraid that I will never duel again." End quote. Yes, what Yugi goes through is hard, especially with Yami's temperament. Yugi is even afraid during the finals. When he's dueling Mai, he refuses to allow Yami to help, as he's afraid of what Yami will do should he be given control, which is completely understandable given his present situation. But by the end, after Mai teaches him not to hold back and not dwell on the past, Yugi gets his confidence back and is able to make it to Pegasus. Kaiba goes through his own arc here, although it's a little harder to follow than Yugi's given the amount of overall screen time he has. In the beginning, Kaiba is portrayed as a straight-up villain, and when he loses to Yugi, he can't believe it and feels like giving up. He actually fakes his own death and even infiltrates the Duelist Kingdom tournament in order to rescue his brother Mokuba. Pegasus blackmails Kaiba in his dungeon by taking Mokuba's soul right in front of them both. Kaiba then duels Yugi and goes on to face Pegasus. However, when Pegasus wipes him out, ironically using the same combination of cards that Kaiba used against Yugi, Kaiba loses all hope and essentially surrenders. which results in his soul being captured by Pegasus as well. Joey goes through a solid arc here as well, which actually ties him with Yugi's. Joey is motivated by his sister, who is blind. He's hoping that with the prize money, he can fund an operation so that she can see again. It's really easy to sympathize with Joey's character, as he is fighting for love. Now, when I said that Joey's arc ties in with Yugi's, here's what I mean. Yugi and Joey have had a friendship that's been building throughout this entire story arc. This friendship began before the series did, when Yugi defended Joey from a bully, ironically after Yugi was bullied by Joey himself. Their friendship continues to grow, from Yugi giving Joey dueling advice, to Yugi giving Joey the Time Wizard card, to Joey teaming up with Yugi against the Paradox Brothers, and finally, to their duel, and best of friends, best of duelists. These two have certainly come a long way, both as duelists and as friends. All in all, the Duelist Kingdom arc is a very good start to the series. But there were some problems. We weren't really told that much about Pegasus. Now, we are told a lot more about him later on, but for the sake of this arc, as much as it pains me to say, I'm giving it a 4 out of 5. If you'd like this analysis, please show your support by hitting the like button, and subscribe if you wish. Also, join me next time for a review on the legendary Hero story arc. Bye-bye, everyone. Dragon Fist out. God bless you all.